No. Waterfall is also welcome.
This is shock content. The center of Moscow is flooded. The State Duma has gone underwater. The deputies are in a panic frenzy.
Where is it going to go now, huh? Dust, more dust everywhere.
We were boiling crayfish. They're already being flooded from above. Drown! They're saving themselves however they can. July 16. People are fleeing from the flood, water is pouring in through the windows, the system can't cope. This isn't just a flood, but in Moscow it's a disgrace for the regime. The metro is flooded. Cars are currently just floating. And the Patriarch ponds have completely sunk.
A river! It's a sea, it's a river! Look guys, there are people swimming in the Patriarch pond!
Lightning, thunder, and the storm struck right at the seat of power. The State Duma was flooded. I'm in shock. But because of the lightning strike, the city lost electricity. Darkness fell. A substation was damaged July 16th, and Moscow went underwater. Nothing like this has happened in a very long time. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. The city center is flooded, cars are underwater, Muscovites are screaming, shouting, running away from the torrents.
A river! It's a sea, it's a river. Look guys, people are swimming in Patriarch pond.
A taxi got flooded and a bus sank. I wish I could somehow get through. Damn. Yeah, we made it through.
We are now approaching the upcoming roundabout, so please be prepared to navigate it carefully.
Look at that, a little nosy station. Once it gets hit now, it won't go anywhere else.
No, it's right here in our room. She liked me the most. She listened to me more than anyone except her owner.
The roof is being torn off. Lightning is striking near the Ostankino Tower. The metro is without power. Waves of water are breaking into the Moscow metro.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Trains aren't running. The airport is cut off. Muscovites are spending days in their cars just to get to the airport. But unfortunately, as the drivers tell them, everything is flooded, so they have to go on foot. There's water in the building entrances and boats on the streets. Even the State Duma got flooded. The Sobchak channel is showing footage of the flooded smoking room in the State Duma.
No. Hey, waterfall. He is welcome too, of course.
We were boiling crayfish. Moscow isn't the capital, it's a second Venice. Panic, evacuation, a state of emergency. Russia's capital is in total collapse. Everything hit Moscow at once. Flooding, hurricane, lightning, transport shutdowns, and threats of missile strikes from Trump himself. Muscovites can't get to the airport. Their shuttles are at a standstill. They're being told to walk through the water, basically to drown. The city center is literally underwater. People are panicking. Some are literally getting around by boat now. Some are crying, some are filming videos, and some simply can't even leave their homes, calling the place an aquarium because there's water everywhere outside the window, behind the glass. All this is happening against the usual mantra of the situation is under control. Sheremetyevo airport is inaccessible. Trains aren't running. There's even water inside the State Duma building. And it seems the system is sinking along with the capital. The center of Moscow and the suburbs are underwater. Cars are sinking right on the avenues. People are standing waist deep in puddles trying to pull out their vehicles by hand. In residential buildings, there's water in the entryways. Trains have been stopped. The metro is without power. The authorities say everything is under control, but people are getting to work by boat. It's impossible to get to the airport. The Aero Express is at a standstill. A train has stopped in the middle of the route. The streets in the center are flooded. Evacuations have been announced in several districts. Hail is pounding on the roofs. Lightning is striking near the television tower. People are posting videos, shouts, screams, panic. The smoking room in the State Duma has gone underwater, an ironic symbol of the entire system being flooded. And all this is happening in Moscow, the city where everything supposedly goes according to plan. Only this plan, it seems, is written in water. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dasha Shastivaya, and leave a few kind words in the comments to support Ukraine. We work for an audience all over the world so that people know the truth about Russian aggression, about Russia's war against Ukraine. Every like, every comment, every subscription is very valuable, friends. Stay with us, stay on the side of light. And now, as usual, let's take a look at the territory of absolute lies. Let's see how Russian war correspondents Rashist got scared of missile strikes and attacks on Moscow and St. Petersburg. Now it's time for the segment Analysis of Prime Rashist Propaganda. Let's go.
And today Trump kind of, through gritted teeth, says, I'm not happy with Putin. Not happy. He says, I'm not happy with Putin. Why is that? He says, I'm not happy with BRICS either. He says, I'm not happy with anyone at all. Why aren't they lining up? If they're all so smart, I told you, train, stop, 1, 2. You have to stop, but why? Did Trump decide that he's some kind of Tsar? Yes. And are you going to be the empress of the world or something? Yes.
What?
Suddenly happened. And just look at how he walks so elegantly, how he struts around Trump. Yeah, there are sanctions. I'm considering it, I'm not considering it. The main thing is how much they don't like it. He even started speaking somewhat rudely. Before our eyes, Trump is undergoing Bidenization. Trump, who was the only one able to talk to Putin, is turning into just another version of Biden. And does he really seriously think that now he can talk down to us and we'll just obey? Has he really understood nothing? Does he not understand that we act based on our national interests? If Trump doesn't like it, that just shows he still hasn't understood anything about Russia. Which means he's offering us terms that don't align with our own ideas of what's good for us. And why should we do Trump any favors? In general, the very idea, why on earth should we do something nice for Trump? Why not just relocate all the people?
Then the enemy would win, then he would be victorious. And that's not our decision. People don't want that. But right now, people are really suffering because of the sea, really suffering. But it's hard to get in by sea and hard to get out. And even now, when before we used to buy armored vehicles and give them to the heads of villages, then we bought ATVs, then mopeds, and now we're buying electric scooters. Why? The head moves around. On a scooter, it's silent. He has maximum visibility and maximum maneuverability during an attack.
The Smersh fighters will be listening.
Big ones. It's inconvenient.
But at night, they can see where they're going themselves.
I agree with that.
But that's not why we're here. We didn't go there to make things worse for ourselves. We said, you don't want to negotiate? We'll make you negotiate. There's no other option. We can only negotiate from a position of strength. Yes. It's going to be hard for us. We'll keep fighting. Unfortunately, we'll have to restructure our industry along military lines. But we have no other option. Look at Iran. And also look at other countries that you didn't even ask about, for example. Look at Libya, look at Iraq. They've been struggling for so many years.
What do we really have today? In the first week of July, electricity prices rose by 13%, gas by 13.5%, heating by 13.8%, and hot water by 14.9%. The inflation spike for the first week of July was 0.79. This has never happened during this time of year, and in recent years, it's one of the sharpest spikes. If someone tries to tell us now, well, it just jumped and now inflation will stop. No, all these rates will be factored into food prices, into the goods we buy every day.
How old are you, young lady?
I'll be 71 this year. I had family at the war. My son-in-law, who died. My nephew, who lost his leg, and 3 more nephews of mine over there. A son-in-law, you see, that's my daughter's husband. He's nothing to me. Not once did I feel sorry. Not once. I really don't give a...
Wait, but that's your daughter's husband. She's not happy because of that.
Oh, she's plenty happy. She married someone else while he was dying. She got married, found another man. So what? She got 17 million. She got it for herself and for both of her children. What's so bad about that? Only my nephew do I feel sorry for. My nephew, my own flesh and blood, I feel sorry for him.
No one ever fought for the family because family was everywhere. Family was everywhere, indestructible, with many children and so on and so on. But today, that's where our Russian foolishness was born. They say some will die there, but women will give birth to others. We'll overwhelm them with our heads or something like that. But now we've reached a time when women won't give birth to anyone anymore. They've become weak, cowardly, promiscuous, and don't want to have children. And we won't be overwhelming anyone with our heads either. If it comes to overwhelming with heads, then India and China could overwhelm all of us, even if you just give each of them half a head. They really could overwhelm us with heads, but we can't do the same. We are disappearing, our numbers are shrinking. That's why we need to preserve our people. In other words, there is such a thing as a practice of preserving the nation. That is, we need to protect our people, protect them from drug addiction, from dying behind the wheel while drunk, protect them from alcoholism, protect them from senseless deaths, as often happens among young people. These so-called trained surfers and others like them risk their lives and die for nothing. It would be better if they went to the front and died there as soldiers, with weapons in their hands.
I just arrived from Brest. This morning, I got off the train. I attended commemorative events honoring the beginning of the Great Patriotic War at the Brest Fortress. And let me tell you, I spoke with, well, I won't say with whom, how, or why. The Poles are currently heavily fortifying the border. And it's absolutely clear why. After all, they've made a mess of things. That's the key point. They've made a mess. They've made a mess. If they've made a mess, should they get hit on the head? They should. And they understand perfectly well that sooner or later they're going to get hit on the head. no matter what kind of mines they put along their border or what they do, the time will come, I'm more than sure of it, and they'll get hit on the head.
This is actually the first war we're fighting without evacuating the population. How is that even possible? When there are troops stationed in cities, there's always someone waiting to leak the coordinates, and then we'll be burying heroes.
For us, air defense has become a normal part of life. And when you read books about the Great Patriotic War, there were so many books written, songs composed, and paintings created. Yes, exactly. War penetrates so deeply, it truly gets into every hidden corner inside each of us. And it brings out some hidden potentials. Our border residents have faced really tough trials. One of the female artists started painting pictures on fragments of the S-400.
Not fragments, 4 anti-aircraft launchers.
That's the body, that's the cover. That's the cover, absolutely right. That's the cover, yes. When the missile launches, these fall off, and it has become probably a symbol on one hand of what protects us, and on the other of hope. Well, not just hope, but a confidence in a near victory, which lives in the soul of each of us. So, honestly, I wanted to give this from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please give the author my sincere thanks.
That's very nice. Yes, it's a good painting. He put his heart into it. Belgorod does not surrender. Yes, thank you very much.
So Trump decided he's what, a Tsar? Yes. And are you going to be the queen of the world or something? Yes. What suddenly happened? And just look at how he walks so elegantly there, how Trump struts around. Yes, they're considering sanctions, or maybe not. The main thing is they really don't like ICE even started speaking somewhat rudely. Before our eyes, Trump is becoming Bidenized. Trump, who used to be the only one who could talk to Putin, is turning into just another version of Biden. So does he really think in all seriousness that he can talk down to us now and we'll just obey? He still hasn't understood anything. He doesn't get that we act based on our national interests. If Trump doesn't like that, it just shows he still hasn't understood anything about Russia. So he's offering us terms that don't align with our own ideas of what's good for us. And why should we do Trump any favors? Really, just the idea why on earth should we go out of our way to please Trump?
Sometimes you listen to Trump, but when you look at the actions, it's more like Biden's. Why is that? Because everything is contradictory. On Monday, I won't give it. On Tuesday, I will missiles, weapons, and so on. And it feels like he has something, a bit of that Odessa flair. When journalists ask him a yes or no question, he replies, well, maybe. And what that maybe means is never really clear.
Just look at how many cities we've taken over these 3.5 years. Well, it's just ridiculous. Damn, 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And I maintain, this is my opinion, that there have been over 1 million casualties, killed, missing without a trace, and wounded, including those who died in hospitals.
If Russia so much as raises an eyebrow for a second, we're the third largest trading partner of Azerbaijan. And I want to remind you how much money is transferred from Russia to Azerbaijan, not from Azerbaijan to Russia. Or considering the 300 kilometers of border and seeing what they allow themselves to do, and watching how on national television they let people say, anything do you want to go to war? Some countries have already, in fact, truly had significant problems because of this, naively thinking they could actually get away with it. And then they very much and deeply regretted it indeed. That is why I believe that the activities of British and Turkish intelligence services on the territory of Azerbaijan aimed at destabilization will ultimately lead to only one thing, unimaginable losses and tragedy for the sensible people of Azerbaijan.
There are, all sorts of considerations, all sorts of circumstances, internal ones, considerations of domestic politics. But I'm not talking about our domestic politics. I'm talking about our neighbors. Well, it's sad, it's unfortunate, sad and unfortunate. Where will this lead? To nothing good. At the very least, to serious economic losses. That's it. Especially if Russia holds, well, as in the case of Azerbaijan, third place in terms of trade turnover. And as you understand, we supply Azerbaijan not with oil and gas at all, but let's say products with higher added value. Well, that's all. That's the whole picture. I think, well, maybe I'm really missing something there, you know, maybe I don't know the region's history well enough. So I went and looked to see where this history of the Great Azerbaijan was, which was supposedly interrupted by the military intervention of the Russian Empire. I didn't find it, there was no Azerbaijan. And in fact, I couldn't even find such an ethnicity as Azerbaijanis there. So this ethnicity that we now know as Azerbaijanis, with all due respect, apparently was also invented by the Soviet authorities.
With all due respect to Azerbaijan, its history and its traditions, if Russia so much as raises an eyebrow for a moment, after all, we are Azerbaijan's third largest trading partner. And I would like to remind you of the amount of money that is transferred from Russia to Azerbaijan, not from Azerbaijan to Russia. And then, apparently, the situation could change dramatically. Is that exactly what they're counting on? Or considering the 300 kilometers of border and seeing what people allow themselves to say, and watching how on central television everyone is allowed to say anything, if you want to go to war, I am sure that not a single person in their right mind living in Azerbaijan would ever go for such nonsense.
Friends, thank you for being with us. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be on the side of light, on the side of the Dasha Shastrivaya YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.